thought you wanted to get control of your powers.
Last time I used them.
We'll start with something simple. I'll be watching your progress from up there. Please don't try anything stupid.
Despite focusing entirely on Fetch as the playable character, Sucker Punch have failed to correct the most grievous error from infamous Second Son: the characters. You see, in Second Son she was a one-note character used as a vehicle for the devoid of personality Delsin to get his rocks off and make inappropriate comments toward. Here, she's portrayed as a silly girl for yet more people to hit on and use for their gain. Being the most powerful person, because we're talking superpowers here, you'd think that as Fetch grows she becomes more feared, yet she just becomes the victim of more scorn and threats. Throughout the entire game it's hammered home how badly she needs the man in her life because he keeps her centered. This unfortunately means that although she has a million times more character than Delsin, she doesn't really feel like the star of her own game, which is a real shame, and no amount of cheeky quips can save that.
Imagine what we'd be like in the South.
Get your boys armed and out looking for Brents, or I'll laze a hole in your sack.
But revisiting infamous Second Son's redesigned Seattle, tweaked for Fetch and her neon powers, feels great though. A streamlined approach due to her singular power base means that overall it's just more fun to navigate and the activities are just better. The graffiti minigame returns, as do random good guy activities, but it's less laborious and new side quests like the races are just excellent entertainment. Where Delsin Seattle focused more on the absorbing of abilities of others, Fetch just has that neon, so there are small pockets of neon gas dotted around that speed her up. These are everywhere, and they're a necessity if you want to get the lumens, which is how you upgrade your abilities. Run through a pocket of neon, and you can jump higher to grab that out of reach lumen. In fact, the races invoke strong memories of Crackdown as you chase a fleeing lumen, or orb, and must catch it before it escapes. It's excellent and helps the feeling that this Seattle really is Fetch's playground. In fact, the focus on neon just makes everything better. The fact you are upgrading a single power means you generally get more out of it. It was the best power in Second Son, and First Light just proves that. Unfortunately, the story just isn't on par with the rest of the game. Again, shifting between the events right before Second Son and a period 2 years earlier, which is Fetch's origin story really, there are inconsistencies. It's all a little bit obvious, and I couldn't help feeling that I missed the Sucker Punch who genuinely shocked me in that first infamous game's ending. The moral choice idea has been removed from First Light, which also lends to a stronger narrative. The current day activity is merely a vehicle to teach you the game mechanics and to introduce the new battle arena. This is a place where you can try your best in various challenges to attempt to top the leaderboards. In a nice touch, these are playable as Delsin if you own Second Son, and they're a great idea, adding longevity to the 4 to 5 hours it will take you to complete the story depending on what difficulty you're playing on. Weirdly, in the current day area you also learn a new skill which is unlocked to play in the past. As a narrative conceit, this just doesn't work. It's a tried and tested idea to lock powers away from you during the early game, but that first time it just feels odd. But the best part is that the missions generally feel more varied due to the shorter running time. Of course, it's combat heavy, but even the melee action is far better. I'd strongly recommend you quickly upgrade your focus ability, as that means you can zoom in and slow the action down while you pick off the weak points. It all adds up to feeling somehow very satisfying. One minute you'll be sniping bad guys to protect a target, the next you're attacking vans to destroy their content. It's not chalk and cheese, but it's nice to not just be gunning folk down. Unlike Second Son, First Light doesn't ask you to take ownership of territories to reduce DUP presence. In fact, during the first half they only mention the DUP and it's all the better for it. The rapid movement of the DUP conduits mean that the combat isn't without frustration, but their late arrival means it's only after the halfway mark that First Light falters slightly, because it's otherwise a thoroughly enjoyable experience. As with Second Son before it, First Light is stunning to look at and has a wonderful soundtrack, which is hidden for true fanatics to search out and enjoy. The addition of challenges that reward trying different things is excellent, and the battle arena is a solid idea executed well. It feels odd to say this, but I actually prefer First Light to Second Son. The shorter runtime and more direct story could have reduced the feeling of freedom, but instead it benefits almost every area of the game. As a standalone product, its low price and superb gameplay mean that it's definitely recommended.